Hello, my dear friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, Israel. Well, this week's Parsha is a real barn burner. Mishpatim. These are the laws. These are the laws. How many laws do we have? You could fill a room with books. You could fill this whole room I'm sitting in with books, and you wouldn't have them all. That's how many laws there were. I get constantly asked by the people that I counsel with, Rabbi, I don't know what to do about all these laws. I don't know which is right, which is wrong. I don't know how to pick through them and do what's right all the time. Well, if that's how you feel, you are in extremely good company. For those of you who've ever done Daf Yomi, you'll know. That's Daf Yomi, you do a page of Talmud every day. And it takes 7 years to complete. And it's all about the laws and the interpretations of it. You have Torah, you have Mishnah, you have Talmud, you have Kabbalah. You have all this information, this wealth of information. It's almost impossible for anybody to know it all. As a matter of fact, let me give you an example. When you go into the Talmud, you'll often see things like Rabbi X says in the name of Rabbi Y, who says in the name of Rabbi Z, and whatever it is. Okay? So you've just taken 3 people, all of whom you should know are all great tzaddikim, all of who are extremely learned. And it all sounds like they've come to a conclusion on something, which they have. However, a paragraph later you'll see Rabbi A says, however, in the name of Rabbi B, who says in the name of Rabbi C, who heard it from Rabbi D, and it could go on sometimes 5, 6, 7 rabbis. You're talking about Tanaim, Amoriam. You're talking about the best, the greatest tzaddikim and scholars in all of Israel. And they say something totally different than what these guys said. Amazing, isn't it? How could this be possible? And it may go back and forth for a page or 2. And other rabbis may add their opinions. And at the end, it may come to something like this where it says, the question remains unresolved. Okay, so these are the best of the best. And between them, they couldn't come to a conclusion as to which way it goes. So, the way people will then observe things is, I hold with this, I hold with that. Just remember, when you decide who you hold with, that's who you hold with all the time. You don't get to hold with A on this and Z on that, because that's not right. Because what happens is we find ourselves holding with whoever gives us the opinion we want on something, which, although it is okay in the world of politics, is not okay in the world of religion. So this is the company you're in. If you don't get it completely, don't feel bad, because you're not the only ones. And those who are far better, far more learned, and you're talking, like I say, you're talking going back years and years and years and years and years and years and years, and they couldn't come to a conclusion. So the situation, the question remains unresolved. Amazing, isn't it? And that's what happens sometimes in Mishpatim. So these are the things that we have to look at, and we have to decide based on our learning how we hold. And based on that, we can move forward. And on that, we can go. We can do the right thing, but we do it on a more consistent basis. Okay? Now, in addition to that, we have a situation. People will say to me, I don't get the idea of a klipot. Well, a klippah or a klipot are husks. They're coverings on something. And what we have to do is we have to remove these husks. And it's important that we do this, because if we don't get to the light. What light, you may ask? Oh, good question. You know, if you go back to Bereshis, it tells you on the first day, it was evening and morning on the first day. There was evening and morning on the second day, and it keeps going on like that. So let me ask you a question. Where did that light come from? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, the sun, of course. Where does the light come from? No. When did the sun get put into the sky? On day 4. So how did you have light on Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, day 1, day 2, day 3, however you want to refer to them. How did you have a light without a sun? Because we're talking about a different kind of light. The kind of light that we'll be looking for at the time of Mashiach, Tzidkenu, the light of Hashem. So what are these klipot and how do they work? I'm going to give you a very basic, very, very simple explanation, oversimplified, but you'll get the idea this way. And I use this explanation for a lot of people. Say you have a lamp sitting in front of you, and it throws out a light, okay? Now, you take a scarf, and you put it over the lamp. It doesn't throw out quite as much light as it threw out before. You take another scarf and put it over the lamp. Again, less light comes out. And another one, and another, and another, until less and less and less and less light comes out to the point where you're hardly even connected to the light that you were looking before. And you want to be connected to that light. You want the light, okay? Okay, this equates with the light we live. We want to be close to the light of Hashem. We want to be close to it. But we have these klipot. We have these things that we have to remove that stand between us and Him. And in order to get to Him, we have to remove them one by the next by the next. So, if we're living a life and we're having troubles, this is difficult. This is difficult for me to do. How can I do this? It's impossible for me to do this. Think about this. Where does everything come from? Everything comes from Hashem. We know this. And it all has a purpose. And that purpose is always for our ultimate best. So if He gives us something like that, usually, or at least frequently, we can look at the fact and say, this is a klipah that He's helping us to remove so that we can get closer to Him. Because by one, the way they were put on, taking them off, by another one, by another one, by another one, we get the idea that we can be closer to the ultimate light, which is the light of Hashem. And that's where we want to be. Because you see, when we get close to the light of Hashem, it's because we are, in effect, having our own personal redemption. We are working on the only thing that we personally can work on, our own personal redemption. And that personal redemption, when we get that done, we want to radiate out. A lot like Rambam's circles of tzedakah. We go to those closest to us in our family, our friends, our neighbors, and we help them to get to their personal redemption. If we get all these things done, then we will indeed bring the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu and the final redemption and the third Beit HaMikdash, the Beit Rabbi Yomeinu, which should come speedily in our days. I would normally end now, but I want to take one thing that I was working on today, which I thought was very important. I'm studying right now in Daf Yomi, which those of you who are in Daf Yomi will understand this. We're now talking about Moed Katan. We're talking about the time in between the holidays. But as you know, quite frequently, the Talmud goes off on a tangent. Today the tangent was on things that are taken personally by people. And what do we do because of that? I'm not going to go into a long dissertation on that, but I'm going to say it is important enough that the Talmud took the time to tell us, this person took this personally, this person took this personally, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. What does this tell us? Sometimes we say things, and as I used to say a long time ago, we have our alligator mouth overriding our hummingbird brain. And when that happens, what do? We can do nothing, and we have to live with it. And we have to be punished in our own way. And things will come to us because we said the wrong thing, we made the wrong indication. However, we have to understand that we can make our peace with the people. We can take it back. We can say, I am so sorry. I see you took this personally. That was not my intention. Can you please find it in your heart to forgive me? And if we do that, that helps us grow. And that also helps take another klipah, another scarf off the lamp that brings us closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the coming of the Beit HaMikdash, B'mei Rabbi Yomeinu. Be well, my friends. Have a great Shabbos and a great week ahead. And help us all to get to the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu in the third Beit HaMikdash. All the best. God bless.